Good evening, YouTube. This is Choppadong. I'm going to do a little bit of a video series here. I teased in an earlier video today. If you have not followed my Week 8 NFL recap, go look on my pinned message on Twitter or search it in my Twitter feed. You will find it. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel down below, and you will find it there too. It's just a quick recap video, but I teased a segment that I want to do teaching guys how to use our Domination Station optimizer for cash games in the NBA and a little bit of tournament play, some little bit of switch and swap. So this is a very, very funny thing, and I am probably alone in this. I do not care about ownership pretty much anywhere. I don't believe, especially in basketball, I don't believe it matters much. Because basketball is a predictive sport. You just need the nut lineup. Yeah, weird guys come in there low owned and go off, and that's great. But if their counterpart went off too, it doesn't do you any good. So, yeah, in theory, that's wrong, but I've never duplicated a lineup, or at least very, very rarely have I duplicated a lineup. And so, to me, ownership just doesn't matter as much as it does to other people. So, that being said, what I want to show you really quickly is how you're going to go in here and you're going to set this thing up. This is the Domination Station. You click on it, you come to FanDuel, you go to the NBA tab, you make sure that this is the main final. If you want to run the express slate, fine. If you want to run the others, that's fine. You just click out some of these games that are not in there. Like the last two games are, two late games. If these are the two, it kind of randomizes these. But if these are the two, I'd click off all of these other games. It would only leave these two, and I'd run the lineups. But I make sure that it's the final update. I come down here. If I wanted to see just the optimal lineup, we have a lot of guys do this. This optimal lineup popped two $10,000 winners last year in tournaments. So these projections do hit, and this would be the optimal lineup. Another way that you can do this is you can run down here, and let's say you want to run, 15 lineups, and you want to run, say, 3 unique players, spread it out a little bit, get your core, put 3 unique lineup, members to each new lineup in the calculations, and see who the Domination Station likes the most. As it crunches the numbers here, it's going to come up with some very, very telling players. Joel Embiid, Millsap, should be a lot of Sarek in there. There's a lot of Anthony Davis in there. Small forward looks mixed up. There's a lot of Tim Hardaway in there. There's a lot of James Harden in there. There's a lot of Jarrett Jack in there. There's a little bit of Kyle Lowry in there. So what I can now do is I can go back up here, and I know who my higher owned guys are going to be. I usually do this with Anthony Davis anyway. But this is a decent spot to fade James Harden tonight. So we're going to do a little bit of that. These are more tournament moves. So actually, let me not touch anything at all. Let me go down, reset the settings. Let me do what I would usually do, which is 3 lineups, 2 unique players, optimize. For cash games, now see, I don't like being all in, so I'm not going to run just one lineup across 30, 40 bucks worth of stuff. I'd rather have a little bit of a player mix in here. With a couple of unique players, I've got a lot of Jarrett Jack, but I don't have the same point guard combinations everywhere. I've got some James Harden and then one without James Harden. I've got a little bit of mix in the small forwards. I've got Anthony Davis in all 3 because he projected that well. I would personally go back and cut that down. Millsap in 2 of 3 and Embiid in 3. If I wanted to, I could cut Embiid down. But the way that this works is I would take these 3 lineups right here and I would go allocate them in the NBA. And in the FanDuel's NBA section, I would probably start, on the main slate. And I would probably pick them in a couple of 50-50s. Sort that by entry fee so that the cheap ones come to the top. And if I was going to run, say, $10, I would put, say, $2 in these 50-50s. I might do 2 individual ones. That's ideal. But being that there's only 4 available right now, I'd probably drop down here and grab the $2 ones. There's one for 100 people, there's another for 100 people. Hopefully it fills, but I'd probably grab a couple of these and call that my 50-50 allocation. Then, if I was doing this with just $10, I would probably put that extra buck from each lineup into either a 100-man league or a 20-man if they had them. I don't see them. There's a 20-man, but it's better on the main slate because they've got a lot more contests to choose from. If I get desperate, what I'm looking for is something that pays about the top third or a little bit, maybe a little bit riskier than that. But Generally, I'd like to layer that with somebody in the top third and then somebody in the top 20% or something like that. And what I'm trying to do at this point is layer my contest. So as the lineup continues to grow and do better, that's what I do. If you are interested in the ladder strategy, then you need to click on the link that I will insert into this little bitty blog series, and you need to follow that ladder series. There's a video and there's an article showing you how to layer your contests for upside, for safety, for cash, but for upside for when your lineup does really, really well. Because we've all entered a 100-man 50-50 before and won it, and you only get $2 back for it, and that sort of sucks. So we need to expose ourselves to a little bit of upside in case we have one of those nights where our lineup does really, really well. Now, in doing so, I'm going to create a little bit of a structure here with $2 on the 50-50s and $1 in a small league, tournament, 20-man, 100-man league type situation, so that the lineup does really, really well. I get paid even more. Now I've spread myself out. I have 3 lineups, 1, 2, 3, $3 on each one, 3, 6, 9. So there's a $10 budget every night that I just run it just like this. And that's going to make up, say, the $10 portion of what I do. Now, let's say I wanted to take, $2 and make it, or $1 and make it an even 10 since we got $9 in play. How would I adjust this? If you wanted to, you could put in 20 lineups, you could go out to 3 uniques, you could run it, and you could see what happens. But what I'm typically going to do is now I'm going to go and start playing with my exposures. I'm going to cut Anthony Davis down because he's he's an injury risk. I would go down here to say, let's see who I find next. Joel Embiid. We know he's going to be highly owned. Let's say we only wanted to put him, in 60% of our lineups so that we got a few without him in there. We saw some Drew Holiday. Let's see. Let's go. This is really quick, guys. I don't spend a lot of time doing this most nights. If I wanted to fade Harden, I'd cut down to 30%. Where was Hardaway was in there, right? I wanted to get rid of Tim Hardaway. Maybe I would take him down to, say, 25%. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-optimize that. And I've used the customized exposure settings to control how many lineups out of the 20 these guys are in. And as it crunches the numbers, it's going to show me my exposures over here. But now it's going to mix and match these lineups. And I'm going to go sifting through here for one that I think I like. It's not going to have, there's no Lowry or Jarrett Jack. I guess he is in this one. Lowry and Conley in this one. So, okay, we're not going to get too far away from that. But let's pick one without James Harden. There's one with DeRozan and Ross. It's got Durant, Chandler, Millsap, Saric, and Vooch in it. Doesn't have Embiid, doesn't have Anthony Davis. This lineup here is going to be fairly unique tonight. It projects at almost 300 points. I might take it, and I might throw it in the tournament. Lowry, DeRozan, Powell. Again, there's Jimmy Butler, Paul Millsap. See, no Anthony Davis, no Embiid, no James Harden. No Tim Hardaway. I might take this one. Projects at 298, 297, a little better. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick one or two of these lineups and go throw those in GPPs and really aim for the balls. It's really simple, guys. It's just under 10 minutes. We've done this in like 8 minutes. If you're short on time, let us help you. If you want to become a better player, you need to talk to our coaches inside the DFS Army, and you need to learn how to massage and manipulate this like I just showed you how to do. If you're really quick on time, I can show you how to at least do this much, but you need to become a VIP in the DFS Army first. Our prices are going up on Wednesday. You absolutely need to get off the fence if you're sitting there watching and wondering and waiting, because your price is going to go from about $23 if you use coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P. Your price is going to go from $23 up over $25 a month because we have our hands on the wheels of a race car here in NBA. And so, of course, when there's demand, prices go up. Guys, that's just the way it's going to be. We are still far too cheap in the industry for what you get. We are going to start normalizing and getting up there with some of the others that we feel we offer the same quality. In fact, we offer very, very unique coaching inside our Slack channels inside the DFS Army. This is something nobody else does. And to be quite honest with you, you might want access to this if you want to become a better player. We also sweat games together and chit the chat while we're hanging out watching games. It's a very, very unique community. It's a lot of fun. And for, $23.20, if you use the code CHOP, C-H-O-P, before Wednesday, you get full access to everything it is that we offer. You get this optimizer, you get all the content, all of the articles, all of the coaching, all of the tools, all of the spreadsheets, everything for every sport. You're not paying for one sport, you're not paying by the season. It is all inclusive. It's one fee, you're in. If that sounds good to you, you can certainly DM me on Twitter at Chopadong with questions, and you can certainly contact me, and we can talk back and forth until we get you where you want to go. and that's hopefully a better DFS player. Take care, guys. We'll show you the results tomorrow.